The FBI and the CIA feared them, but why were they considered the deadliest organization in the world? Level 1, Junior Lieutenant. An office at Lubyanka. A desk made of worn particle board. Massive reels of a tape recorder spin on the desk. The magnetic tape hisses against the playback heads. Sitting across from you is your best friend. You went to the academy together. Now he's an engineer. At a classified military research institute. His hands are shaking. He's smoking. Gray ash falls directly onto his trousers. You open a cardboard folder, an operational brief. In KGB parlance, this is called VUK, recruitment based on compromising material. You pull out 3 black and white glossy photographs. They show your friend handing cash to a foreign black market dealer for scarce, imported medicine for his sick mother. A violation of Article 88 of the Criminal Code. 3 to 8 years in a strict regime labor camp. Without a word, you slide 2 documents in front of him. On the left, a search and arrest warrant for his apartment. On the right, a blank copy of a secret cooperation pledge. You place a steel fountain pen on top of the form. He looks up at you, slowly exhales smoke, takes the pen. The nib digs into the paper with a scratching sound. He writes down a fictional code name. You take the sweat-dampened sheet, hide it in a steel safe, turn the key. A loud, metallic click. Level 2, Officer of Directorate S, Suburban Toronto. Night. Icy rain stings the skin. Mud squelches beneath boots. An old Catholic cemetery. The narrow beam of a pocket flashlight illuminates a small stone cross. You drop to your knees. Bare fingers scrape moss off the granite. The flashlight catches the inscription, Michael Thomas, 1948 to 1950. In Directorate S, this is known as a dead double. Municipal archives are not linked to cemetery logs. You pull out a notebook, write down the name. Raindrops fall onto the paper. A week later, a cheap motel. An official copy of a birth certificate sits on the nightstand. Michael Thomas. An authentic form. Real watermarks. A dark alley behind the motel. A rusty oil drum with burning trash. Flashes of fire light up your face. You pull out your real Soviet passport. Toss it into the fire. The thick paper smolders. The red cover melts, turning to black ash. Tomorrow, an American named Michael Thomas will cross the US border. Level 3, Agent of Line. PR. West Berlin, a hotel room, pitch black. You sit in a stiff armchair, studio headphones on your ears. Through the wall, you hear the heavy breathing of a man and a woman, the rhythmic creaking of a spring mattress. 10 minutes straight now, a 2-way mirror is built into the wall. A camera lens is pressed tight against the glass. Inside the target's room, an invisible infrared illuminator is disguised as a floor lamp. Operation Honeytrap. In the viewfinder, the British Embassy attaché and a woman. Her codename is Swallow. Click of the shutter, manual film advance. Click. The infrared film captures every movement. Morning. A damp, concrete underground parking garage. The Brit approaches his sedan. You step out from behind a concrete pillar. He looks at you, takes a step back. Without a word, you place a thick yellow envelope onto the sedan's hood. The diplomat opens the folder, pulls out the glossy photographs, stares at the shots from the hotel, turns deathly pale. You place a notebook and a steel pen on the hood. You shift your gaze to his gold wedding band. He breathes heavily, uses a handkerchief to wipe sweat from his forehead. He takes the pen. With trembling fingers, he writes down the names and addresses of British agents in the GDR. You say nothing. You tuck the notebook into the inner pocket of your black trench coat. Level 4, Head of Line, X, Washington. 6 in the morning. You walk down an empty street, a horizontal yellow chalk mark on a blue mailbox. The signal, the dead drop is loaded. A city park. You sit on a wooden bench, lean down. Tie your shoelace with both hands. Your left hand slips unnoticed beneath the cast iron base of the bench. Your fingers brush against a metallic object, a magnetic container the size of a matchbox. A classic dead drop. You slip it into the inside pocket of your coat. Stand up. On a nearby lamppost, you leave a mark with blue chalk, a tiny dot. Confirmation of recovery. Evening, the Soviet embassy, a windowless room. You crack the container open with a penknife blade. Inside, a sealed aluminum capsule. You extract the microfilm, Place it on a metallic light box. Flip the toggle switch. The frosted glass flares with white light. You press a heavy measuring loop against the film. On the negative, blueprints for the guidance system of American Trident missiles. You drop the film into a lead container. Screw the cap tight. Level 5, Deputy Resident. Washington, the Soviet Embassy, basement, the hum of a fluorescent lamp, a steel desk. Sitting across from you, a career cipher officer, line K. The hunt for moles. His hands rest on the desk. On his right wrist, a white scar, a boiling water burn. 10 years ago, at the academy, he knocked a kettle over onto himself to distract the duty officer while you hit a banned radio receiver. He saved your career. You look at that scar. Then you pull out a trip log and 2 gas station receipts. Unroll a map. Draw a line with a red marker. The route of his car. The first receipt, Virginia. The second, Maryland. Time, 21:40, 30 miles out of the way, right near an FBI safe house. The cipher officer looks at the red line, shifts his eyes to you. A thick bead of sweat rolls down his temple. His lips tremble. Silently, you press the button under the desk. 2 officers enter, twist his arms back with a jerk. The metallic click of handcuffs, an injection. His body goes limp. The officers throw him into a long wooden shipping crate. You lower the heavy lid, take the sealing iron, squeeze the lead seal on the steel lock, marking diplomatic pouch. Tomorrow, the cargo flies to Moscow. Level 6. Station Chief, Washington, Rock Creek Park. 3 in the morning, the open trunk of a sedan. Inside, a large bag made of heavy green canvas. A man in a soaked trench coat steps out of the thick darkness. He approaches the car. Plumes of steam pour from his mouth. You stand in the deep shadow of old trees. Give a silent nod toward the trunk. The American jerks the zipper, the screech of metal teeth. Inside, tightly stacked bricks of $20 bills. Old-style banknotes, non-sequential serial numbers, $200,000, 10 kilograms. He reaches a shaking hand into his trench coat, pulls out a white sheet of paper, places it next to the bag, grabs the canvas handles with both hands. The heavy fabric drags his shoulders down. The sound of footsteps on wet leaves fades into the dark. You walk up to the car, take the paper, switch on your pocket flashlight, a blue stamp, CIA, Directorate of Operations. Below it, 10 names are typed. The first line, a Major General of Directorate S, your former mentor. You slam the trunk shut. Level 7, Head of Service, A, Moscow. First Chief Directorate, PGU, Headquarters, the Office of Service A. On a massive oak desk sits an IBM Selectric typewriter. The inventory number of the U.S. Embassy is scraped off its metal body. Microscopic defects in the type elements create a unique ballistic typeface. 100% authenticity. You roll a thick sheet into the cylinder. An original blank with American watermarks. Lower the lever. Fingers strike the keys. A dry clatter. The metal typing ball drives ink into the paper with force. On the sheet, a Pentagon directive. An order for the clandestine testing of biological weapons. You pick up the paper with steel medical tweezers. Skin must not touch the document. Fold the sheet exactly in half. Slip it into a thick envelope. Affix an Indian postage stamp. A week later, the same office. Blue cigarette smoke hangs in the air. A fresh copy of the New York Times lies on the desk. On the front page, a reprint from the Indian press. A loud headline about biological weapons. Next to it, a large photograph of your forged document. A color TV is on in the corner. On the screen, crowds of people storm U.S. military bases. Molotov cocktails fly. Flags burn. On level 8, Deputy Chief of PGU, Moscow, Yasenevo, the office of the Deputy Chief of the PGU. 3 in the morning. On the desk, a map of Europe, a top secret / special importance folder, a BTL secure communications phone. In the folder, the North Agent Network. The FBI has launched a witch hunt in the Pentagon. If the investigation continues, it leads straight to Omega, your source for nuclear launch codes, a mole in their ranks. The task, kill the case. You pick up the receiver, secure line to Bonn, the former capital of West Germany. Clearly dictate 12 surnames, addresses, names of handlers. The North network is written off. You hang up, walk over to the shredder, feed the dossier into the slot. Gray shreds fall into the bin. Return to the desk. Take the logbook. Draw a red cross next to the North Network column. Signature. Asset liquidation. Enemy diversion. Object Omega secure. You unlock the safe. Pull out the cognac. The glass clinks sharply against the desk. You take a sip. You look at the map. In Bonn, alarm lights are flashing. Ignore them. For them, this is the case of a lifetime. For you, it's the price of one day of Omega's work. You ink a dot over Bonn on the map. The network is destroyed. The investigation in Washington is dead. You pick up a new folder. Level 9. Chairman of the KGB. Moscow, Lubyanka. The chairman's office. 6 in the morning. On the desk. An S-115 secure communications console. It has been silent for 3 days. Before you is a folder stamped Central Committee of the CPSU. On top, an arrest warrant form. Your name is written in by hand. You've signed warrants like this hundreds of times yourself. The ink has already dried. You take a massive onyx ashtray from the desk. Push it aside. The desk's surface is scored with scratches from your official seals. In the corridor, footsteps. The rhythmic, heavy thud of boots on parquet. You know this rhythm. The arrest team. You open the side drawer of the desk. Grab a heavy, suppressed Walther. The weight of the pistol pulls your hand down. You flick off the safety. The metallic click is sharp. The footsteps stop right outside the door. A long pause. The door handle begins to slowly turn downward. You don't rise from your chair. You level the pistol barrel straight at the door. Place your finger on the trigger. The click of the lock. The door begins to swing open. You wait.